Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village nestled between rolling hills and golden meadows, there lived two best friends, Bella the rabbit and Max the fox. Bella was brave and curious, always asking questions about the world around her. Max was quick thinking and loyal, never leaving Bella's side. They spent their days exploring forests, climbing mountains, and dreaming of grand adventures. One sunny afternoon, while playing by the old library, Bella discovered something extraordinary tucked behind a dusty shelf, an ancient, crumpled map made of what looked like shimmering parchment. The edges glowed with a soft, ethereal light. Max, come quick," Bella called out, her whiskers twitching with excitement. Max bounded over, his bushy tail swaying. "What is it, Bella?" "Look at this." She carefully unfolded the map. It showed a path leading from their village, through the whispering woods, across the singing river, and ending at a mysterious location marked with a giant glowing crystal. Written in golden letters at the bottom were the words, "The Crystal Lighthouse, where wishes are born and hope glows eternal." A lighthouse? Max wondered aloud, but I've never heard of one near our village. Bella's eyes sparkled. That means it's hidden, and it might be real. We have to find it, Max. We have to. Max and Bella exchanged a determined look. Without hesitation, they decided they would embark on this mysterious quest. The next morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, they packed their supplies, said goodbye to their families, and set off on their adventure. Their first stop was the Whispering Woods, a forest so ancient that trees there were said to be thousands of years old. As they entered, the forest seemed to come alive. Leaves rustled with whispered secrets. Vines hung like curtains, shimmering with bioluminescent moss that glowed in shades of blue and green. The very air seemed to pulse with ancient magic. "It's so beautiful," Bella breathed, her nose twitching nervously, but also a little scary. "Stay close," Max assured her, his keen senses alert. "I won't let anything happen to you." Suddenly, they heard a soft, melodious voice. "Welcome ye, little travelers." They spun around and gasped. Before them stood a magnificent silver owl perched on a gnarled branch. Her feathers shimmered like moonlight, and her eyes glowed like amber moons. I didn't expect to meet anyone here," Bella stammered. The owl smiled gently. "I am Luna, the guardian of these woods. I have watched over this forest for many centuries. Few seekers come here, but I sense your hearts are pure. You search for the Crystal Lighthouse, yes?" "How did you know?" Max asked, amazed. "The map," Luna said wisely. "It chooses only those worthy of its journey. I have seen many adventurers come, but few have the courage and kindness that I see in you both." She paused, her eyes growing serious. "But beware, the path ahead is filled with challenges. You must trust each other, believe in yourselves, and never lose hope. Can you do that?" "We can," Bella said confidently, gripping Max's paw. Luna extended her wing, and a single blue feather detached itself, floating gently toward them. It glowed with soft, ethereal light. "Keep this," Luna said. "It will guide you when darkness falls. Follow its light, and it will lead you true." "Thank you, Luna," Max said respectfully. "Good luck, brave ones. I have faith in you," Luna called as they continued forward. Grateful and renewed, Bella and Max walked deeper into the woods, the magical blue feather glowing softly ahead of them, lighting their path through the mysterious, whispering forest. After hours of walking through the whispering woods, Bella and Max's paws grew tired, but their spirits remained high. Then, as they emerged from the trees, they found themselves standing at the edge of something absolutely breathtaking: the singing river. This was no ordinary river. The water glowed with every color of the rainbow. Blues, purples, greens, pinks, and golds all shimmered and swirled together in a hypnotic dance. And from it came the most beautiful melody, a gentle, flowing song that seemed to touch their very souls and make their hearts sing along. "The singing river," Bella whispered in awe. "It's even more magical than I imagined." But their wonder quickly turned to concern. To reach the other side, they would need to cross a wooden bridge. However, this bridge was old and falling apart. Several planks were missing, creating dangerous gaps, and the entire structure swayed dangerously over the rushing, glowing water below. "We have to cross it to reach the lighthouse," Max observed, checking the map carefully. "But how?" Bella worried, her voice trembling slightly. "One wrong step, and we'll fall into the river. We could be swept away forever." Max looked at the bridge, then at Bella, then back at the river. He thought hard, his tail swishing thoughtfully. Then, suddenly he had an idea. "Listen to the river's song, Bella. Really listen. Feel its rhythm. I think the river is trying to help us. It's trying to tell us something." Bella closed her eyes and opened her ears. At first, she heard only the melody, but then gradually she began to perceive something deeper, a pattern, a beat, a message written in music. "I hear it, Max," she said, opening her eyes. "I hear it. When the song rises, it means we should move. When it falls, we should stop and steady ourselves." "Exactly," Max said proudly. "The river is our guide." Together, moving in perfect harmony with the river's magical song, they carefully stepped onto the bridge. Step by step, guided by the music, they made their way across the ravine. When the melody was strong and flowing, they moved forward. When it paused and swelled, they stopped and held tight to the wooden railing. The river seemed to sing louder as they progressed, encouraging them, cheering them on. Finally, their paws touched solid ground on the other side. They collapsed in relief and joy, breathing heavily, but smiling brightly. The river's song seemed to celebrate with them, growing louder and more triumphant, as if congratulating them on their bravery. "We did it," Bella laughed, hugging Max. "We actually did it. The river helped us," Max said gratefully, looking back at the magical waters. "Thank you, singing river." And in response, the river's melody became the most beautiful, most joyful sound they had ever heard. After crossing the singing river, the landscape began to transform around them. The hills became steeper and more dramatic. The air grew cooler and fresher, carrying the scent of salt water and magic. They were getting closer. They could feel it in their bones. The sun was beginning its descent toward the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of gold and crimson. Then, as they climbed to the highest cliff they'd ever seen in their lives, everything stopped. There, standing at the very edge of the world, silhouetted against the fiery sunset, was the Crystal Lighthouse. It was more magnificent, more beautiful, more awe-inspiring than they could have ever imagined, even in their wildest dreams. Bella and Max sat before the glowing riddle, their minds working hard to find the answer. They thought about everything they had experienced on their journey. Max spoke first. "Bella, do you remember when we first entered the Whispering Woods?" Yes, Bella nodded. I was so scared. But you weren't scared because I was with you, right? And when you couldn't figure out how to cross the singing river, I believed in you. I knew you would find the answer. Bella's eyes grew warm with understanding. And Max, when I was uncertain about continuing, you never gave up. Your determination pushed us forward. Even when things seemed impossible, your light never dimmed. Max took Bella's paw gently. And Bella, your hope and courage, they healed my doubts. Whenever I felt afraid, seeing your determination made me brave again. Together, as they looked into each other's eyes, they realized the truth. The answer had been with them all along. Hope, they said in unison, their voices strong and certain. The answer is hope. Hope shines brightest in darkness. Hope heals all wounds. And hope never dims, even when the world grows cold. The moment they spoke the answer, the entire lighthouse began to glow brilliantly. The crystals of the lighthouse pulsed with light, first softly, then brighter and brighter. The entire structure seemed to come alive with joy. The massive crystal doors slowly and majestically opened, revealing a sight that took their breath away. A vast circular chamber filled with thousands upon thousands of small, glowing crystal balls suspended in midair. Each one shimmered and glowed with different colors: blues, greens, golds, pinks, purples, creating a galaxy of light inside the chamber. What are they? Bella whispered in wonder. They're everyone's hopes and dreams, a voice said. Ancient, kind, and infinitely wise. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. In the center of the chamber, a pedestal began to glow. On it lay a single, radiant crystal that shimmered with an inner light, so pure and beautiful that it seemed to contain the essence of all hope itself. The ancient voice continued. You have answered truly, brave ones. This crystal is a gift for those courageous enough to believe, not just in the quest, but in each other. It will protect your village and all who live there. It will bring light in darkness and hope in despair. Bella and Max walked slowly toward the pedestal, their hearts full of wonder. The voice spoke one final time with great warmth. But remember, dear friends, the real treasure was never the crystal itself. The true treasure was the friendship and hope you carried in your hearts throughout your journey. The friends you made, Luna, the singing river, the whispering woods, they were all part of your true treasure. Bella picked up the crystal and it immediately became warm, as if it had a heartbeat. The moment she touched it, it began to project beautiful images of all their adventures. Luna, the owl's kind smile, the beauty of the singing river, the magic of the whispering woods, and most importantly, images of their friendship and the moments they supported each other, with the crystal held between them and their hearts full of joy, peace, and accomplishment. Bella and Max knew something profound. They had not just found a lighthouse. They had discovered something far greater, the unbreakable power of hope, courage, and friendship. We should bring this back to our village, Bella said, her voice filled with purpose. Yes, Max agreed, so everyone there can share in this light, so everyone can feel this hope. Together, holding the glowing crystal between them, they turned and made their way back home, forever changed by their incredible adventure, forever bound by the unbreakable bond of true friendship. From that day forward, Bella and Max placed the Crystal Lighthouse gift in the center of their village, right in the town square where everyone could see it. Every night, it glowed with brilliant light, casting rainbow beams across the rooftops, illuminating the hearts and faces of everyone who saw it. And whenever young animals in the village felt scared or uncertain, whenever they doubted themselves or their abilities, Bella and Max would invite them to sit beneath the crystal's light and tell them the story of the Crystal Lighthouse. They would share tales of Luna the wise owl, the singing river's magical melody, and the ancient, mystical, whispering woods. And most importantly, they would remind every young adventurer that within every heart burns the brightest light of all, the light of hope. Hope will never abandon you, Bella would say. As long as you believe in yourself and trust in your friends, you can overcome anything. No challenge is too great, Max would add. No obstacle too large, because when you have hope and friendship, you have everything you need. As for Luna, the owl, the singing river, and the whispering woods, well, whenever Bella and Max returned to visit them, they found them even more magical than before. Luna would greet them with joy, the river would sing specially for them, and the forest would shimmer with extra light when they walked through it. For you see, that's what happens when brave hearts seek adventure. The world itself becomes more wonderful, more colorful, and full of endless possibilities. Magic recognizes magic. Hope recognizes hope. Years pass, and Bella and Max grew older, but they never stopped exploring, never stopped believing, and never stopped telling the story of the Crystal Lighthouse to new generations of dreamers and adventurers. And to this very day, if you ever feel lost or afraid, if you ever doubt yourself or lose your way, remember Bella and Max. Remember their courage. Remember their friendship. Remember the glowing crystal in the center of their village. Because the light of hope never truly goes out. It only waits for brave hearts brave enough to seek it. The end. Remember, your hope is your greatest light. Never let it dim, and never underestimate the power of true friendship